Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of Redesign Your Life Today. I'm Daniel Kobryner, your guest. And as you know, this podcast here, it's about inviting guests who have experienced really big transformations in their lives, and it's for them to share their stories and to inspire, to uplift, and really to show that in life, everything's possible. So it's very simple. And today I've got the immense pleasure to receive Shuang Ning Zhang with us. And I just say a few words about Shuang. She's a holistic success activator and intuitive healer, empowering overworked yet underwhelmed high achievers to revolutionize success, freedom, and relationship through alignment with universal love. Taiwanese born and word seasoned, she's lived in many of the biggest cities in the world: Mumbai, India, Milan in Italy, Shanghai, China, and she traveled extensively, spanning continents, industries, and states of being. For over a decade, Shuang thrived in the luxury fashion world, leading high-growth market for top French and Italian brands. On paper, she was the full straight A package student, elite degrees, prestigious jobs. But behind the scenes, she battled deep depression, self-sabotage, and profound loneliness. A turning point came when, at the age of 33, and she spent the last 15 years exploring the sacred intersection of personal awakening and professional success. So, Shuang, very warm welcome to you. It's really
Thank
a
you.
pleasure to have you here. And yeah, I'd like you to tell us about your story.
Okay, where can I start? Um, what all you read is accurate, and I think adding to it, from those places, depression, burnout, stress, and loneliness, to where I am here guiding people through those. Of course, that's all
Mhm.
part of success package in our life, right? I attributed it to when I was a little girl. I didn't know why, probably it was born with me. I believe happiness was possible. So when I was in depression, I would wonder that if happiness is possible, why wasn't it available for me?
Mhm.
And when I was, dealing with loneliness, I would go out partying and then get really drunk. And then I would ask myself, if happiness is possible, why isn't it available to me now? And I guess like when I was really young, I didn't have the answer. But being able to ask this question, I think like you also like we talk about manifestation, attracting things. When I was willing to ask this question, I attract inspirations or support or having the capacity to see new opportunities. So that was like of course, like I didn't understand all this. I look back and I realized that that tiny little question has hold my hands through a lot of things. And then I was able to be here today talking about transformation, redesigning life, and how to break through our mental limitations
Mhm.
here. Yeah.
Wow, thank you so much. And see, I listened to you, and of course, I mean, you had a life like a high flyer, if I might say, living
Yeah.
in very different countries and
Yeah.
brands and top French, Italian brands. I can see it's like all the hype around you, yeah?
Yeah.
You see all
Yeah.
this word, and it's about, I guess, of course, a lot of partying, everything, and you think, oh, it's great, perhaps But then I guess that sometimes loneliness can kick in. It means even if there's a lot around us, is it aligned with us? Is it
Yeah.
something that you really, something which made you thrive and happy?
Yeah.
And what I hear from you is no, there was something was missing there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I um I think having a life with a lot of stimulus, a lot of excitement outside to keep my mind busy or to keep my psyche busy or to keep my emotion busy, actually in also it reflects back very strongly what if I don't have the capacity to be with myself.
Hmm.
Because there will be always moments nobody is calling you. There will be moments there was no party to go to, right? Or there was a moment that I was just simply tired. Like I didn't have energy to go to another meeting, another event, or whatever. Then I had to be with myself. And so like those excitement and stimulus actually was also showing me like the part I was missing. There was a connection with myself. Like I, it was very strange at the beginning for people to conceive because I was and I still am an introvert. So I actually like to spend time alone. But it was the quality of the emotion when I'm alone that matters. And when I was reflected back that I feel the disconnection. As long as those things were not there, I disconnect and I didn't feel the company, I didn't feel the love, I didn't feel the excitement. And then so that was when I will feel like really lonely. Over the years, I started to understand the connection started with ourselves.
Hmm.
Can I be can I be peaceful if there was no more stimulus? There's no more things to own, no more things to chase, no more things to earn. Am I in peace? And coming back to that peace with myself is so important, and it was a game changer. It 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 shifted all the ways I created further. The promotion, the raise, and everything in the corporate, and even now, especially starting a business, is quite frightening, right? And then it changed all the way how I perceive, the things I want to get, or the money I want to make, or the trip I want to take. It like change all the flow, the direction of the flow of energy, like because I'm connected with myself. So with or without, I'm calm. And I can always come from a calm place, no matter what happens. It's good things or bad things.
Wow, this is very, very powerful. Thank you so much for sharing and for everybody who listens. See, very often we think that happiness comes from outside, from people, from parties, from jobs, and this is, and even, we think that it's so the way people see us. This is what matters, and what the kind of feedback, and we seek validation, from others, but afterwards we realize that no, I mean, and when
No.
we do that, actually, it's because of disconnection with ourselves.
Yeah.
Because, and it's like, some people would party, some people would smoke, some people would drink, some people would do other things. It's like
Yeah.
because we are afraid of spending time with ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when we start doing that, as you say, it's frightening first, but how good does it feel afterwards when you really start doing this? And Shuang, from your side, what did you kind of implement in order to spend more time with yourself? What did change in your life?
Um, as I said, I'm an introvert, so
Yeah, yeah.
naturally, I actually need a lot of time with myself. So it was the quality of the emotion. What I cultivate is, there are other practice out there, and I really did them. Like I journal.
Hmm.
So I really reflect on how I felt. I didn't run away, I sit with them, the loneliness, I sit with them and asking like, what's the connection that's missing? And then if I feel like anxious, I sit with it and asking like why it's under there, under the anxiety or under the boredom that I'm dealing with. So I journal to be honest with myself.
Mhm.
And through the conversations and my experience of working with people, the first layer of disconnection come from we cannot be honest with all sides of ourselves, like those sides we don't like. So I still journal. I started journaling when I was 13 and I'm 42. So I still journal. Um, and then the gratitude exercise. One of the greatest way to connect is to receive and recognize the contribution others have towards us. It was no matter how small. At the beginning, of course, it was kind of like mechanical, I have to think about something to thank. But when I thank them, I begin to recognize a connection I have. No matter whether it's my friend or my parents, or it was just someone passing by, when I travel, helping me with the direction.
Mhm.
When I really, make a conscious contribution to thank them, not just say thank you. I will reflect also on my journal what I'm thankful for. And the deep acknowledgement actually create, or now I say like create new pathways to remember the connection I have. And that connection is from external into me, not just everything happening and I'm not receiving. Create a gratitude for me to receive and to connect. And I also look at the things that I really enjoy. Like a lot of this connection also coming from I didn't allow myself to be myself, or didn't allow myself to engage in certain things because I feel like I was afraid that I will fail, or I was afraid that I will embarrass myself, or I told myself the story, oh, I'm a grown up, I shouldn't do that, like climbing the fence. Actually, like I enjoy sometimes, but then I will tell myself that I was grown up, I shouldn't do it. Or I will tell myself I should be more productive and efficient. I should spend all those time working or learning something about my work instead of doodling. So I really learn to cultivate time for myself, not just sitting with myself, like really expressing myself, because the expression also create connection with myself. Because then I see, I am this person that I can allow everything to happen, allow myself to experience. And when I experience, I feel. And usually when I allow myself to do things I love, even no matter how stupid and silly they are, I am happy. And that helped me to remember that I'm happy. So when there are times that I wasn't happy or I wasn't satisfied, I can always remember I'm happy. And through all these actions, I'm actually collecting a bank of evidence to remind myself that's who I am instead of other things. And gradually, when there are more practice and more evidences, like the disconnected self will not show up anymore because I embody the connectedness. And whenever there was time, of course, there's time like now I'm traveling through Europe for 3 months. And of course, I miss my family. But that connection with my family, it's always there. It's not just when I am physically with them. So I can deal with the sensation of missing them. And I can take some actions. I can send them photos. I can remember. I can even meditate or visualize, the time I'm with them. And I am happy right away because I know we are connected. And that's really, really powerful.
Yeah, no, it's see, connectedness is so so
Yeah.
important. And you see, I picked up a few, a few words from, the what you just said, Shuang. And something obviously which resonates very much with me is gratitude.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do this as well, I practice, and but I heard you saying, oh, gratitude from others. And it's interesting because Yes, I mean, of course, I mean, we do things for others, and it's important. But for me, it goes even further than that. You know what? I wake up in the morning, I'm alive. I'm
Yeah,
alive. So
yeah,
it's nothing to, it just, I'm there. And okay, and I think about, the great days, which is going to be
yeah,
ahead of me. And, I look outside and I see these beautiful trees and the light and the sun and just that. And thinking about all these, as you say, connections as well.
yeah,
As well, you see the fact of fully living in the present moment.
yeah,
It's enjoying every moment of life. My first date of coffee in the morning, it just
yeah,
the smell. And you see this, it's like and when you are in this state of gratitude, there's no space for negative thoughts. It can't
yeah,
be,
yeah,
it can't. It's either or. So again, and you see, for anyone listening, of course, these negative thoughts, they come always, and they come from the subconscious part of our mind.
yeah,
So, but it's not about suppressing them, it's about acknowledging them. And we are the
yeah,
only species on this planet who can do that through our
yeah,
prefrontal cortex. And then as soon as that, how can we handle it? Just think that even these thoughts, they are not us. They're just little voices in our heads, and
yeah,
in most cases, it's programs running on autopilots,
yeah,
which we acquired as very young children.
yeah,
Even and so this came to mind, and as well what you said, and sometimes you said, oh, I should not be, perhaps I should not do this and do that, and oh, it's silly, it's stupid. The question I would have asked is, who said you should or should not?
yeah, yeah,
You and if I guess, Shuang, I might be wrong, but if you were to go back as well, long time in your childhood, sometimes it's parents or
yeah, for
teachers saying,
sure.
"Oh, you shouldn't, you should." You see, all these voices, it's like we heard it many times, and then it gets because in the first 7 years of our life we are like in a hypnosis mode. So it
Yeah,
gets it gets impressed in our subconscious mind.
yeah,
So it's really when you said, let's live our passions, right?
yeah,
I love something. If people like it or not, or laugh or not, it's their problem. It's not mine.
yeah, yeah,
And when we
yeah,
start doing what really pleases us, this is where happiness comes from
yeah,
inside.
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, you say about the present moment. So I described at the early stage when I practice gratitude, I have to intentionally to find something. And usually we're starting from out there because appreciating ourselves is also, at least in my culture, it wasn't really ingrained in us. I have to learn to appreciate myself, right? And I was in Andorra, and so I was hiking on the trails, and it was low season, so usually a lot of times there was nobody in the trail. And most of the trail doesn't look like road. They are just tree roots and rocks and so on. And there were like a small yellow dot to, like the people before me, no matter how before
Mhm.
um, they make those yellow dots to guide my way. And I will find myself saying yes to those yellow dots
Mhm.
because at that very moment I was guided, by people I didn't know, or by a mark that on a stone they couldn't talk. And that's how I feel like that was like the connectedness you are talking about. It was like the air we breathe, the morning we wake up, there are possibility ahead, and fully immersed in the moment instead of thinking, oh, today I need to think about something or someone to thank. But it has a process, right?
Mhm.
And there was um, one of my mentors says that all the possibility is in the present moment. Without living and embrace this moment, there was no future to talk about because how we are right now is going to impact whatever comes. So if I am not fully in this moment, the next moment I create will not be full. It's just equation. A white and white is not going to be black. You know, when I consistently showing up in one way, it's not going to be something else. So if I don't consider showing up fully in the present moment, the next moment I create is not full, and then it will be not full, you'll be not full. And I remind myself that through my breath every day, and I get into the habit of reminding myself to breathe, or
Mhm.
to breathe in a certain way that will create me to be more present throughout the day. So these are the practice I am still doing since I was 23 when going through my depression. So it's really a journey, and I'm grateful for that experience leading me to today.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. And you mentioned breathing. Of course, something I'm very resonates very much with me because
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, this is, you know, we think we know how to breathe, but actually we don't. Like when we start, for instance, inspiring for a certain number, like for count of
Yeah.
7 and holding our breath, then
Yeah.
powering very slowly. When we start doing that, and whenever we have again a negative thought, this is one of the best ways as well, just to, because what happens is when we really deeply breathe, we are calming down our nervous system.
Yeah.
And the more we do that, and this is, for instance, meditation, obviously, when you meditate,
Yeah.
breathing is very important. And think about the Buddhists, monks, and
Yeah.
it's very interesting because it's about this, and it's about being grounded, being with yourself. And at that time, this is when the fog, which is in our head, is going to gently dissipate, and when we
Yeah.
get more clarity about what,
Yeah.
and this we can do at every moment in our
Yeah.
day.
I throughout my practice, I arrived at some moment. I started to notice I actually stopped breathing a lot. Well, my background is I am usually my personality is more like in haste, short-tempered, and impatience. And of course, that they combine with my corporate life and other reasons, and also the background that like I didn't remember maybe. I noticed that I had this tendency of stop breathing, like holding my breath. And it's not, it's it happened like a lot in daily life. Sometimes I'm just like, waiting for traffic light and I will hold my breath. So um, I also learned to listen to my body's consciousness. So my body started to remind me that, oh, you are holding your breath because I will notice. And then I will start taking breath. And now, whenever that anxiety or like I feel like, oh, I need to rush somewhere for no reason, it was just an old remembering. My mind or my body will actually, like coming from the heart or the root chakra, remind me like breathe deeper. So I will slow down. It was a fascinating experience for me. And that's also another layer of connection. Like I trust my body and knowing that my body is guiding me to, like relaxing myself or to calm down or to create more space. Because when we are in a hurry, we don't have space for now. We are not present. Yeah.
Mhm. Absolutely. And see, again, an expression which very much resonates with me, which I use every day: listen to your body. Your
Yeah.
body is talking to you the whole time, the whole
Yeah.
time. And even every pain, every condition we have, if we go further than just it is linked a way or another to emotions.
Yeah.
Everything. And it's why afterwards, when people are interested, just be they can go beyond what I would call traditional, well, medicine or Western medicine, and
Yeah.
start looking into healers, because it's very fascinating. And so in Shuang, with your new career now, so I guess you are, is it coaching people, I would say, or the
Yeah.
people who are healing? So which kind of people come to you, for your and what resonates with them when they approach you?
Um, we attract our clients. So the client I attract, It's usually like high achievers, type A personality, high level corporate executives or solopreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
And usually they came to me because they couldn't hit another goal, you know, or they feel like it's hard they for them to hit another goal, and they want a way they can, hit it faster, quicker, and easier. Or that's one side. Another side is that after all the usually it's professional success they created, they feel a strong dissonance or imbalance in their life, because most people, um, well, they are around my age, so 35 up, 50. They also have families, and they actually have a lot of balls to jog um, in their life. But they build, I think there's a lot of high achievers, they build their career as their center instead of themselves as a center of their life. So, like our body, our mind will reflect itself whether we do it consciously or not. So I think people nowadays, people still call it midlife crisis. I don't think so. Like it's an opportunity, the mind, after giving us a space to chase, to achieve, they also want us to reflect. So they come to me because they had that reflection, of they failed that reflection and they didn't sit well with it. So they want to understand, what is this coming up? Am I in a midlife crisis, or how can I, like create in a different way without compromising my current success?
Yeah, fully understand that. You see, just prior to this interview, we are just having a few words, and I was telling you that, I'm a mental fitness coach, so I help people uncovering what's blocking them from living their
Yeah,
best life. And it's really about understanding these little voices, which I call saboteurs, which you have
yeah,
yourself. The first one, the master one, being the judge, which we all have. We judge
yeah,
ourselves, we judge others, and we judge circumstances, right? But afterwards, they're all the accomplices. Like, you could be a controller, wanting to control everything and every people.
yeah.
You're right. You can be a perfectionist, which was my case,
Yeah, me too, me too.
well, I can tell you, trying to have everything perfect, and I thought it was great, and I realized how draining it was and how much time I wasted in my life. I can tell you, so
Yeah,
now it's over. My secret with that, you have 80% of what you need, go do.
yeah,
You know what? And it's by doing that you get the clarity and confidence.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah,
people, which was my case, thought, I need to have all the facts and figures, etc., which give me the clarity and the confidence to take action. And it's
yeah,
exactly the opposite. It's,
yeah,
have enough,
yeah,
go, and then you'll figure out, and then you get the clarity. And I mentioned that because it's very interesting, because hype, you see, hype, you can be as well hyper vigilant when you are afraid of everything and you're always
yeah,
on your guard.
yeah.
You can be hyper, how do you, yeah, there's one hyper rational, where
Oh,
it's only about figures, facts. You've got
yeah,
everything. You don't understand why people don't get you, but it means you have no feeling, zero. So you don't understand others. But now let's go, or you can be a victim. Oh, I'm the poor victim. Everything happens to me in my life. It's terrible.
yeah,
Then it means leaving your power to somebody else. But now let's go to hyperachiever, because it's one of
yeah,
them. And you know what's
yeah,
interesting, Shuang, in hyperachievers? It's like, for everybody here to understand as well, it's people, they always think that happiness will comes from the next goal, that when they reach it, this is it, they're going to be so happy. But what
yeah,
happens? It's like, right, they go. Okay, they reach it. Yeah, they're happy. 5 minutes a day, a
yeah,
week, I don't know. And then it's like, oh, well, it's only that. And then they are chasing the next one.
yeah,
And very interesting is when you dig down, why, the why is, and this is, you tell me what you think about this, but it's about really this connection with yourself, but as well, sometimes it's people, it comes from the youth where you were not always, perhaps you felt you didn't always receive the love you wanted from your parents and from others. And because of this, there is like, oh, and you were asked to suppress your feelings. Oh, no, the feelings, there's no space for that. And when
yeah,
it's happened, it's fascinating because basically, we don't even know how to feel any longer, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and this has so much to do with the connection. It means how, and some people are even avoid relationships because it's like, uh, they want to give an image of themselves. This is how they are, and oh, big barrier. I don't want anybody to come close to me. I'm
Yeah.
just mentioning
Yeah.
this can happen at least for some. So
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
you realize that, and again, this you acquired as a child, this how can you transform it? How can you be really in peace with yourself? Because this next goal is not going to change anything.
No, no, I hit so many goals in my life and only wanting more. So I totally get it. And I'm a perfectionist, I'm a perfectionist high achiever. So it was exhausting. Like it was really, really exhausting. And as you said, I didn't like people to come too close to me
Mhm.
because there was part of me I didn't consider perfect and I didn't want people to see. So there was,
Exactly.
there was loneliness and I didn't want to connect. There was like really counter each other that is not serving me. And how to come off the chasing and pining, oh, next goal is going to make me really happy. And it's I call it the direction of energy in that old way of high achieving. I'm still ambitious. I still have a lot of goals, but now my energy is different because previously, as you mentioned, there was experience in a childhood. For my case, is I was expected to achieve a lot since I
Mhm.
was child. So when I didn't get an A, the love I feel from my parents was less. And that was not my parents' fault. I'm not going to, like fall into a victim. It wasn't my parents' fault because that was the way they know how to love someone, right? So there was all these things tangled together, but that was how I grew up. So when I was hitting goals and making myself in, how do we say it? Like I cannot be ignored. It was it was in a way of putting myself in front of people's face, telling them I am worthy.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
and in this mind frame, that means that without those, I don't feel I'm worthy. So I will need to chase and need to chase and need to chase. But over the years, I started to, we talk about authenticity a lot, but what is authenticity? Authenticity, in my interpretation and how I elaborate in my work, is to understand what's my essence. You know, and this essence actually hidden under the achievement we are chasing. For example, happiness, I talk about it a lot. It's very important for me. I want all those success because I want to feel happy and I want to feel validated. And what do I want to feel validated? Basically, is I'm a good person, right? And so I validate myself that I'm a good person. And what does a good person mean? If I am a good person, what will I do? I will always smile to people, right? There was some like fundamental expression that I do when I believe I'm a good person, and I just do those more. Like I used to have a poker face. Everyone said when I don't smile, it was scary because I didn't want to smile. I felt that I needed a reason to smile. But what if I decided I am good and that's good enough to smile? I will go everywhere with a smile. And then when I go everywhere with a smile, what happened? I receive more smiles. But I'm not looking for those smiles to validate me that I'm a friendly people. I chose to be friendly first. I chose to be the good person I have in my heart first. So they can go with a lot of things. Like for example, I am curious or I am love. So if I am love, I chose that authenticity for myself. What will I go today, waking up, go into the world? So my direction is different. I chose to know what is the authenticity I'm embracing with for myself. And then I ask myself in my business, when I talking to prospects, when I talking to my clients, or I'm talking here, or when I go to a grocery store, if I am love, I'm a loving person, what's my expression? Picking up groceries. Or if I'm a loving person, what would I do when I'm driving? You know, if I'm a loving person, if someone cut me off, I probably won't be angry because, you know, it's okay. We are all safe. Everyone's fine. But sometimes if I get into the pitfall that judging, I need people to be polite to me on the road to be happy. Well, I'm in a deep shit because if someone cut me off, I'm unhappy right away. So coming back to the essence that connect me with my highest good. We fundamentally we want to feel ourselves as good. That because that was the truth of who we are. We want to feel that we are loved, and to be loved is to love first and to love myself first. So I chose those. I have a list of keywords and I'm always playing with it. I chose those essence to be me. And that was my expression in my chasing or seeking of a successful business right now. I ask myself if I'm a loving, curious, generous, happy person, what do I want to do with a business? They are creating business like there are 100 people are going to tell you 100 ways how am I going to be successful? So if I'm just chasing those ways, I will lose myself again. So I always come back to myself that this is me, this is the lifestyle I want to feel, this is how I want to feel, or how I want to be in a day, then what my business will look like. It will probably will be slower sometimes, but then I'm always calm and happy and confident. I think this is important. When I'm aligned with my essence, self-doubt dissolve and they fade away. Or even they came up, they don't last.
Yeah, well, again, so powerful. I hope everybody listens well to what Shuang said. There's so much there, so much. Of course, I mean, I fully resonates with what you just said, but you see, just a few things, just to come back to a few points. And this is very important. I mean, the first, this childhood traumas, if we feel for reasons which are not always valid, but
Yeah,
that love is conditional to our marks,
yeah,
conditional to our behavior. This is where, we believe life is like that. So we believe we need validation. We always need to please others. If not, it's not going to happen. So it's very hard to change that, But
yeah,
see, afterwards, you talked about love, which is really, and you said, of course, that most important is to love ourselves.
yeah,
And what does it mean? It's not like, oh, I'm wonderful, I love me. It's not about,
no,
it's
no,
really about, first of all, accepting ourselves exactly the way we are.
yeah,
Okay? We have our strength and we know what they are. We have our weaknesses and it's absolutely perfect.
yeah,
You see, and actually one of the biggest compliments people can do, even in a relationship, when somebody tells you, you know what I love about you? I love your imperfections.
yeah,
You see? And it's only when we love ourselves the way we are that we can love others, because our relationship to the world is a mere reflection, it's a mirror
yeah,
of who we are.
yeah,
So, and you see, when you said before, and this was very touching, I mean, a word, you see, the number one word in my vocabulary, you mentioned it several times, authenticity.
yeah,
Yourself. And again, when we spend time with ourselves, when we know what our values, because very often these core values,
yeah,
I mean, for me, it's about kindness, it's about integrity, it's about authenticity. It's when we respect is one of my key words as well. When we know that we this is it, this cannot change, this is who we are. So some people will resonate with it, and it's nice, and some will not. That
yeah,
absolutely nice as well, because the other thing is that we cannot change people. People
yeah,
want to change. And you see, one of my biggest lessons, over the last few years in kind of becoming a little more spiritual is that never take anything personally, never.
Yeah.
Which is so difficult because you think, hold on, you just criticize me,
Yeah.
But when you realize that whatever people say to you, whatever even people do to you, and sometimes it's not nice, but it's nothing to do with you. It's
Yeah.
people reflecting their own fears, their insecurities, their childhood trauma, and it's not going to change the way they react to you. But we cannot control what they do, but we can control what we make of that. And
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
and parents, same thing. You know what? Sometimes, and these are the things, it's about triggers because,
Yeah.
people know how to press our triggers. And I heard something from a healer, I think it was, which really resonated with me, that now whenever someone triggers me, and it can happen, although I've done a lot of work, do you know what I say in my head? I say, thank you.
Yeah. Exactly.
Thank you for
Exactly.
reminding me that I look to go inside because I've got a part of myself which is not healed.
Yeah. I had someone about 2 weeks ago told me in my face I was going to fail because I didn't resonate with his methodology.
Mhm.
And of course, like when he told me that, I was in an emotion that was so bad. But I remind myself that I can also see his side of story.
Mhm.
What he believed in was challenged. And most people's first response is defense. And how to defense? Attack,
Exactly.
right? So when I don't take it personally, of course I feel bad, but it's just a trigger. It's not something personal. And then I told myself that it was there to show me something so I can
Mhm.
be greater. Greater in a way my energy is more open. I invite more things that I desire in. And so I say thank you. Like I did exactly the same thing. I say thank you for showing me how much I was afraid to fail. And and then I ask myself, why do I believe failure is possible? Or why is failure still relevant to me? If life is experience, there's no success, there's no failure. When in a very grander scheme of spirituality, right? So why am I afraid of it? There will be always up and down. So I got a deeper way, and it reminds me there are so many people who believed in me already.
Mhm.
And there was such great access. If that didn't happen, I probably wouldn't feel so strongly. And there was a layers of after layers of gratitude. So I totally feel you, like it was a trigger and it was there to show us something. And there was actually, if we talk about, channeling energy, these triggers are actually the blocks of our energy flow. Because
Absolutely. Yeah.
so it was just an external incident giving me opportunity, to clean the pipe. That's what sometimes I said, and it's a good thing.
Exactly. And I just say a thing, which the first thing when I opened my camera today, and I hope you don't mind me saying that, but I saw your beautiful smile.
Oh, thank you.
So you see, already it's so engaging. You see, when you sometimes, we don't want to show it because we think people, I don't know. So, but you see, you said several things before, if I may, that see, when we go to people, we see the good in people. We are
Yeah,
there, we are open. Okay, some people are or not, we don't know. But you see, everything starts with us. The
yeah,
way we interact, we cannot expect, I mean, it's like in relationship, it's like in business, and perhaps a little tip from me, having some bit of experience, but I mean, it's like it's us always to take this first step, to have the
yeah,
courage, whoever, to talk to someone, not to expect, because in life, when you start expecting, you can expect all your life, so at least it's this, you see. And then, when we talk about, you see, people who surround us, this is so important, that
yeah,
for Well, everybody who listens here, if there are some people in your life, next to you, close to you, who always put yourself down, who always criticize, it can be even family,
Yeah,
be very careful, take a distance, because we are the sum of the five people we spend the most time with. So,
yeah,
this energy and, this positive energy, when you have people around you, like, people who kind of, I wouldn't say validate you, because you see, again, validating, it means we expect something, but people who will support you, people who will
yeah,
uplift you, this
yeah,
is when it's nice. And without expectation, very important.
yeah,
It's like,
yeah,
because some
yeah,
people, they have agenda. No, when we have these people around us, this is what lifts us up. So see, validation, it always needs to come from inside. We are perfect as we are. We are born with
yeah,
the light of the creator. We've got everything we want.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
only afterwards the shadows which come and
yeah,
hamper that. But when we realize that we are perfect, I mean, for people who are who believe, we are made of the image of God, so
yeah,
so
yeah,
and believe me or not, but 5 years ago, I would have laughed at myself saying this now. But I really kind of I embrace new things when we have this clarity and we have faith.
yeah,
When we have faith and faith first in ourselves, that everything's the best will happen for us. And when we start taking action, see, the universe is with us and things start unfolding and we think,
yeah,
wow. So, look, it's,
yeah,
it's been it's been wonderful exchanging with you, Shuang.
yeah,
Today, and we'll get to a close of this interview. But if you had like three tips, perhaps, for our
yeah.
listeners, what would they be?
We are talking because this is all about redesigning our own lives. So
Yeah,
first, it's really check with yourself that is there anything that you don't believe you can create the life you desire? Because if you don't believe it, you can't do it. It's
ex-
just the trick.
exactly. Imagine it
And
and do it. Yeah.
yeah, and second, so if you can create everything, what do you want to create?
Mhm.
We have to set a destination, not destination, a focal point of the energy to flow, right?
Mhm.
So if we don't have the focal point where energy just flow everywhere, it's very hard to take form. So if you believe that you can create everything, what do you want to create? It doesn't need to be, wow, do I need to think about something grand so I can be great? No, it could be like good day, right?
Mhm.
A regulated nervous system. Like, so what do you want to create? You can create everything. And third is to embrace yourself. Like we are going to experience a lot. The feeling that we enjoy, the feeling we may not enjoy that much through the process of creation. And it's just opportunity to embrace ourselves more. In the end of the day, we are here to express, to embrace, and to experience as human beings.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, this is so powerful. And Shuang, when people want to connect with you, what's the best way?
I am on Instagram, which is Shuang Min, and I'm also on LinkedIn, it's Shuang Ning Zhang.
Okay.
Um, or you can write me email, smc@shuangminzhang.com.
Okay, and we'll put the details afterwards in the footing of the episode. And
Yeah,
so, look, I want really to thank you so much for inspiring everybody here and for being very open as well, sharing, and this and to the audience. I hope you enjoyed this great moment where you see this is when you pick one little thing, just remember, everyone, you've got everything in yourself. You've got everything in
yeah,
yourself. Just surround you with the right people. Just go. And if you have any dream, go for it. Go for it.
yeah.
Because you see, the biggest regret you can have at the end of your life, it's not what you
Regret.
fail or what, because actually failure doesn't exist. It's there.
Yeah,
Yeah, but it's what you haven't tried. So,
yeah, exactly.
so thank you for everyone for attending today, and I wish
Thank
you
you
all
for
the
the
best.
space.
Thank you so much. And I said, until the next episode,
Yeah,
bye bye.
bye bye.